Unleash the champion within.
All right, welcome back to the Central Florida High School Scoreboard Show right here on the Varsity Sports Nation. I am back. I am Dan LaForest. And as usual, the usual suspects. He's not a trainer. He is a magician, and he is Baylin Trujillo. Welcome back, Bay.
Yes, sir. Glad you're back, man. Talking about being back. You're back.
I'll tell you what, I've kind of, played the low key, doing a lot of great things this season, but, it is showtime. We are in the state championship. AJ Brooks, the certified dog, is back in the house. AJ, we've got a lot of excitement this year.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Good season. We're coming to an end. We got two really good chances to bring home a state championship. So we'll see what happens.
I tell you what, it was exciting, and obviously getting to the 305, the drive to the 305, getting down to FIU to play the state championship. We got two representatives, two Orlando-based teams sitting there for the ultimate crown, and it's been an exciting year. But the first thing I want to do is talk about what's happened this week. We got new districts, new classifications that's really kind of set the stage for next year. A lot of changes. We saw a lot of enrollment changes at the high schools across the state of Florida. We saw enrollment go down in so many ways that now they've had to go back and adjust it. But guys, I don't know about you. I don't know if you've had a chance to take a look at the new school districts and new classifications, but we've got some really incredible matchups. They're going to make district championships extremely competitive and kind of a big deal for 2026. Baylin, I'm gonna start with you. Have you seen that at all? Have you seen some of the matchups? Have you seen some of the old rivalries they're going to be pitted against each other?
Yeah, I mean, it's been the talk of the town the last couple of days. I've talked to the Edgewater coaches, even the Oak Ridge coaches. I talked to Ricky Smith from Windermere, and just a couple different guys at obviously Wells and company at Dr. Phillips, and it's cool, in a way, but Edgewater, man, I think that's more of the you add Buchholz now into it and Armwood into this thing, the classification. That's tough, man. It was already probably the hardest classification. Now you just add two more juggernauts into that equation. That's tough, man. But I love that Evans and Edgewater will play again. I think that was a rivalry that was kind of like pushed aside for a while now, so we get to see that back in action. But yeah, man, I think Edgewater, out of all the scenarios, and on top of that, I see Oak Ridge is in that same district. That's not good for us, as a Pioneer. But and then now you got Bishop Moore dropping down to 4A with Jones again. They're not in the same district, but they're in the same classification. And guess who else comes down to 4A, Dan? Miami Northwestern. So I'm telling you right now, guys, Jones High School, they better win state this Saturday, because if that does not happen, honestly, and this is my bias hat coming off, they will never win a state title. So I think this is the biggest opportunity, because now you got Northwestern back to playing a Jones. American Heritage is still there. It's not going to be, Jesuit's still there. So there's still not going to be that kind of, I wouldn't say cakewalk, you still have to play the game, but Jones has to, they're going to have to fight their way back to this position if they want to be something, obviously, after this season. They got to still handle business on Saturday. That was the cards that were dealt. But Northwestern, I mean, we said it all year. The last couple of years, I think that's arguably the best team in the state and arguably top 5 in the country. So that's tough, because we saw what happened, back in 2019 when they played each other in the state final. It's tough to play the Northwestern in any type of capacity, especially in a state title environment. So, I know for myself, we got spanked 41-0 when I was at Boone in 2008. So, that's just a different type of caliber. But at the end of the day, man, these classifications are wild. They kind of, settle themselves out. Again, at the end of the day, it's about the best team winning. I think this type of reshaping will signify that. We are going to get the best team in every classification to win a state championship.
AJ, I'm going to ask you, taking a look at this, are there other classifications, any other programs that have had a pretty decent road in the past that may get a little bit stickier for her with the new realignment?
Coco.
Glad you said it, because I was going to bring that up. Talk about that, AJ.
Coco. I seen Miami Edison. I seen a couple down south schools that they'll have to play, and it won't be as easy as it was in years in the past. I just think Brevard County is in a flux right now, not really knowing who's the power, so to speak. Coco, they're the top dog. They lasted the longest, so to speak. But something telling me that EG is pulling towards being the top dog for the next 2 or 3 years. So we'll see if they can continue that momentum. And if I'm not mistaken, EG was in the same district as all the other Brevard County schools, Astronaut, Titusville. So, I mean, I like the new districts. When you talk about districts, 6 to 8 teams, it really adds value to winning your district. The last couple of years when you had these districts with 3 teams, 4 teams, to me, being honest, it's a little watered down. When I graduated in 2004, the districts were like they are now, these old districts, and I'm a fan of it.
Yeah, I agree with you. And what I saw was some of these districts that got realigned to some other big rivalries. I looked, and I can't remember which district it is, but you've got Apopka, Brantley, Lake Mary all in there, and some of the traditional big rivalries that we've seen in the past. Even Boone's schedule is going to change drastically in the Orlando area coming up. But I think it's going to create a whole new buzz. I think it's going to make Media Day really crazy. I love it. I mean, anytime we can see more competition, we can see things lining up, I think it's going to be extremely exciting. Well, guys, I know you guys were at the games this past weekend. Baylin and I were over at Lake Mary watching them. I mean, watching them take care of business with Venice, the historical run that they've had with Coach Peacock and the Venice Indians. There was a lot going in there. So let's get into that, and let's recap. Let's recap the 4th round here. And, guys, we had Jones, Lake Mary, Cocoa, and Bishop Moore in the final. 4 of our teams here in Central Florida. And let's start with this. Cardinal Mooney takes care of Cocoa 40-0, Baylin.
Yep, we called it. And, Franco called it about 3 weeks ago. He sent me and AJ a text. He's like, look, this is what's going to happen. We're going to beat this team. We're going to go in there. We're going to beat, the 3rd round. And then Cardinal Mooney, they have the best chance of beating us. And he was straight up with us. And this is what happened. This is the result. And as of right now, guys, they're currently winning 13-7 over Bowles in the state title game as we're speaking. That game is going on live right now. This is a well-oiled machine. Cardinal Mooney with their quarterback. He came in right before camp started, a 6'7" freak. Then you got, athletes all around him. Coach Franco said it best. I got 7 kids from Canada, kids we don't even naturally see walking in our state. So this team is obviously put together as a pretty big powerhouse all-star team in the 2A division, and they're rolling right now. I mean, obviously it's a close game. Bowles, they love to kill the clock. They've been doing that for years and years and years. They will try to control the possession, but Cardinal Mooney, they have an offense that can score pretty much at will. So I would be shocked if Bowles comes back and wins this game. Obviously, it's really early. It's still in the first quarter, but it's already 13-7, Cardinal Mooney. But, yeah, Cocoa, great run. They still could say after that spanking that they've been to 19 straight Final Fours. That's 19 years. And so they can continue to ride that high with multiple state championships. A lot of those seniors that lost last Friday have multiple rings on their fingers. So I'm sure they're not disappointed in their careers. But, again, they're a young football team, and I'm excited to see with the redistricting and how they're going to redo teams next year with a lot of those guys coming back, especially with, Champ Smith going into his senior year. I'm very excited for Cocoa and a great season.
AJ, a lot's been said about Cocoa this year. They are not as strong as they've been the last couple of years, but everybody goes through a rebuild. I've always said great programs find a way to win. You could have some programs that have a good season, but they're not a great program. It's not sustainable. Cocoa's a great program. Let's talk about what they've endured this year and really the promise for what they show for next year.
Yeah, I mean, we all saw that they didn't have the same caliber of talent that they had years past. But this game against Cardinal Mooney last week, honestly, even some of their better teams would have had – it would have been a game versus this Cardinal Mooney team. But moving forward, Coco, you say rebuilding, and they made it to the Final Four. If I'm rebuilding and I make it to the Final Four, let's keep on rebuilding and we'll figure it out. So
it's more like reloading, not
Yeah, I
rebuilding.
was about to say reloading, not
It's
rebuilding.
just a matter of time. I think that Coco is a great program. They have a great history. So, yeah, but that Cardinal Mooney team is loaded. They got a 2,000-yard rusher, 1,000-yard receiver. Yeah, that's a good team.
All right, let's move on. How about Miami Northwestern takes care of Bishop Moore, 52-21. We all know the strength of Northwestern and the dominance that they've had here the last couple of years. But you got to take your hat off to Bishop Moore. What a season. What a great job by Coach Hedrick and their staff. Baylin, I'm going to start with you.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, they were winning in this football game early off a block punt. They went up 7-3. I remember getting an update at the game, and I'm like, no way. I thought that was a typo, obviously. I honestly didn't think Bishop Moore was going to score against Northwestern, especially in that environment. If anybody's ever been to a Traz Powell, game where Northwestern plays or Central, like that environment, I mean, we're talking people on the fences, pointing at their pockets. Like there's money involved. I mean, it's a show, and this is all no games at all. So I know that type of environment for a team like Bishop Moore, I'm like, man, there's no way they come out of there with any points yet, let alone they were leading at one point in this football game. Now I know Coach Hedricks, I know how competitive he is. I know that he doesn't like to take, consolation trophies or wants a pat on the back. Obviously he prepared to win this football game. It wasn't like he's trying to go in there and, just see what we can do. No, I'm sure he wanted to win this football game. It's just Northwestern, man, from top to bottom, arguably the best receiver in the entire state. They have a 5-star just committed to Syracuse, who I think arguably can play any position. He's also playing quarterback a little bit. Neiman Marcus, who is featured as the #1 quarterback in his classification in the country. There's just so many weapons on this Northwestern team, which is why they're undefeated. They're unblemished. They've beaten everybody in their way, and I don't see anything changing on Friday night when they play Reigns. But yeah, this is just a juggernaut that unfortunately Bishop Moore will have to go through. And now that they go back down a class, guess what, guys? Northwestern follows Bishop Moore down there too. So, or up there. So yeah, it's just tough, man. Tough for Bishop Moore, but great season.
You can run, but you can't hide, and that's why we play the game. But AJ, let's talk about Bishop Moore's great season. Some of the great players, Kenyon Austin, the Illinois commit, had an amazing season. You've got so much young talent. Trent Gummer on to Delaware. A lot's been said about his recruitment and his senior year, and still one of the most underrated defensive backs in the state of Florida. But let's talk about the future of Bishop Moore, and you're a half Hornet. I mean, you're half Hornet. You're half Eagle, half Hornet. Let's talk about the Hornets.
First of all, shout out to Coach Hedrick. I think he did a terrific job, him and his staff. When you talk about Bishop Moore's season this year, one loss will come to, in my opinion, I'm going to call it right now, state champion Northwestern, and then I think Lake Mary's state champion. So either way, Bishop Moore 2 losses came to 2 teams that are playing in state championships. So that alone shows the type of season they had. But when you look at the future of Bishop Moore, I think that they're in great hands. Sophomore quarterback Blake McCullough, he threw for 3,400 yards, 37 touchdowns. So you had that type of production coming back at the quarterback. He will lose a couple key receivers in Kenyon, 1,000-yard receiver who broke his record in back-to-back seasons. So that shows his production. He'll also lose Jackson, but he still has Magnus. Magnus had how many yards Magnus had this year?
A lot,
exactly. So he had about 800 yards himself. So he'll be a 1,000-yard receiver next year. I think Bishop Moore is in good hands. I think that they'll get transfers in because people see the culture, the winning environment. And, I mean, it's crazy that Bishop Moore lost by 31 points. And honestly, we're saying, man, Bishop Moore did a good job. That really shows just how good Miami Northwestern is.
All right, let's move on. All right, Jones takes care of Port Charlotte. This was an exciting game coming in. It felt like this was very well matched up. Baylin, I know you weren't there. AJ, you were at the Jones-Port Charlotte game, right?
Correct.
So
Yep.
I'm going to start with Baylin on this. Baylin, Darion Coleman obviously had an amazing game. Miami commit. Talk about, what Jones is right now and basically their season, where they got to this point. We're going to talk about the state championship matchups here in a few minutes. But I tell you what, when you've got Elijah Williams and his staff coaching, the talent always seems to be there. And this year with Darion's really putting the cherry on top of that sundae, kind of leading this thing before he becomes a hurricane here in the next few weeks.
Yeah, I think you said it best. I think that, honestly, man, a couple weeks ago, I was at the Jones game, and I believe they were playing it was who was after Vanguard? Lake Wales. Went to Lake Wales game, and Darion threw his first interception of the entire year. And I remember in my mind, and I told Coach Will after the game, said that might have been the best thing that ever happened to Jones High School when he threw the interception. Now, granted, they were winning and dominating at that point. It was still 24-3, but because he hadn't thrown a pick all year, that was really what was the thing about Darion. Okay, Darion wasn't really trigger happy. He was not forcing things. He wasn't showcasing his ability to throw vertically. He would rather just take off and run, throw out of bounds, not put in risk. And of course it worked all the way to that point. But because he threw that interception, now Darion knows that's not on the table anymore. So now he's able to open it up more. Now he's able to throw the ball vertically, and we saw a lot of that in the Port Charlotte game. Now I do a lot of his stuff with his huddle and his highlights, and watching the full game on Saturday morning and getting to see him play. Yes, he threw 2 interceptions. One was a pick 6 on one of the craziest. He threw a wheel route, and the safety in the middle of the field went all the way over there and caught it. So it was a great play by the safety. But at the end of the day, I'm so happy to see how he's literally letting the ball go. And now you add the ability to run the ball, which he did so effectively against Port Charlotte. It was like 3rd and long in multiple occasions, and he used his feet to get them first downs. And now it was electric plays. It wasn't like, it was a broke down. No, he was sat in the pocket and went straight down the middle of their throats and made moves and did really special things with his feet. And then he was able to throw 2 deep balls to Hicks, who now might be a matchup disaster for what American Heritage is going to be facing this week, on top of Larry Miles in the backfield, which they added a little different taste to their offense by putting Larry at running back in certain occasions, which he ended up sealing the game on a rushing touchdown. But it was just good to see how Darion is finally able to get the monkey off his back and play who he is and play free and play happy at the right time going into a state championship matchup, knowing that all bets are off and that this is the most important game of the entire Jones history, which is the longest standing high school in our city. And so this is so important for them and how Darion is playing. And again, they're either going to win because of him or in spite of him. And I'm really turning towards the fact that it's going to be because of him and how Coach Will is orchestrating this well-oiled machine at the right time. And AJ, I know he saw it. They're healthy, and now it's scary. And so now they're peaking at the right time. And I think it's time for Darion to put that cherry, like you said, on top and start celebrating Saturday afternoon.
AJ, we were talking about this toward the end of the season. Jones, to me, and I know Coach Will, I've talked to him a couple times, I felt like they're the healthiest they've been going through this season, and I think they're healthy at the right times.
Yeah, they are the healthiest, even though they are still missing a couple starters. This is the healthiest that Jones has been. I like the Tigers that I see right now. When I was at this game, Port Charlotte, they looked the part. Now, Port Charlotte, they had some guys, and you could tell. Elias Pearl, he's a 1,000-yard receiver. He had a fantastic game. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna be honest, man. Darion, he like this year, he was very consistent. He was very consistent. Friday, that boy was lights out. I'm talking about he played amazing. When you talk about over 350 yards passing, then he had over 140 yards rushing. He had kind of 500 yards. He had the deep ball. Even that wheel route that you talk about, that safety, that was a power forward play. That's one of the best plays I've ever seen a high school safety make. He baited Darion. He did a good job. So the thing is, Jones ran that play earlier, and DC saw him, and DC said, I know DC said, I'm going back to that. When they ran it a second time, the safety saw it. He jumped it, pick 6, but Darion was able to come back the next drive. They answered, they scored. Yeah, I like how Jones is playing right now. They look laser focused.
And not to mention, he threw one of the prettiest 70-yard bombs that was
Yeah,
dropped.
we ain't gonna talk about that.
That hurt me
DJ,
watching.
my boy DJ did drop. I'm talking about, but what I told Darion it was his fault. It was so high in the air.
Man,
it was a moon ball. And I mean, DJ was open for like 5 yards. And when you that open and the ball is that high,
man,
sometimes it's
like,
hard
come
to
on,
track.
get to me. Come on, get to me. Yeah. And he was moving that fast too, man. That's tough.
Yeah.
Hey, Baylin, Port Charlotte has a 2027 quarterback currently committed to UCF. Talk about him a little bit and what you saw in this game.
Yeah, man. The coolest thing because I knew a little bit about him. Obviously, Mackenzie Milton was high on him and got him to commit. He was getting highly recruited. He had big offers, and he chose the Knights. But I talked to Coach Williams after the game on Saturday morning, because that's usually when I call him and we talk for a good hour. He told me that's the best quarterback he saw all year that they faced, hands down. Right. Just his moxie, just the way he presented himself. He didn't put ball in harm's way. He's accurate, and he just made good decisions. And he was very impressed. But the most impressive thing about this kid, and this is on record, after the game was over, after everybody shook hands and everybody, was excited, celebrating, Port Charlotte probably going through their emotional dump, because this is the farthest they've ever been in their history, ever. Yeah. Coach Williams, because, he's like the last one to get in the locker room, noticed this kid picking up trash on their sideline. While everybody else is going to the locker room, he was by himself picking up trash and putting in the garbage. That speaks highly on who he is as a kid and his character and what he stands for. And that is massive. And for Coach Williams to tell me that the next day, that shows you that made an impact not only for him and probably whoever watched it, but Coach Williams. I mean, imagine your head coach across the field that you just lost to, just watched you do that. And that's the last thing you want to do, especially in an emotional game like this, that you don't want to pick up trash at someone else's field. You're emotional. You want to get in the locker room. You want to feel the team's vibes. He's out there by himself picking up trash after the game. That is why that kid's going to be special and going to be elite. And of course, if you turn on the tape, you see he made some big plays. I mean, that throw he made against Jesuit to win the game, that 55-yard bomb stepping up in the pocket, unbelievable throw. I mean, he has stuff on his tape that is obviously Power 4 level. But like Coach Will said, that's the best kid that he's seen on the field and off the field this entire season.
I tell you what, Baylin, isn't that the definition of character, is doing something when nobody else is looking?
Yeah.
Somebody was watching. That's a great thing.
100%.
All right, guys. Lake Mary takes care of Venice, 31-26, Baylin.
You dang right, Dan. You were standing on the field with me. And I'll tell you what, Dan, and you can definitely attest for this. That score was not indicative of how that game actually went. Lake Mary punched them in the mouth and did not let go at all. They were from the jump ahead of Venice the entire game. And I'm gonna be honest with you, man. And I'm a big fan of Barrett Schultz. I will tell you, AJ Brooks, if it wasn't for that guy right there underneath me in this thing, if he didn't tell me about this kid all summer, going into the fall, about who he is, and 7-on-7, I would have been like, no way. Bro, this kid is there's a mismatch in every football game that he's played in. He's scored in every football game he's played in other than Reigns. He is literally, arguably, obviously, the best player in both sides of the ball on both teams every game they played. Venice literally had 3 different matchups against him, and all 3 got topped. And one of them should have been a touchdown. And it was the one-handed catch he made on the goal line. It was the front pylon. It should have been a touchdown. But I'll tell you.
You got to give him the touchdown, ref.
No, you have to. That ref was crazy. 1 yard. But, dude, that kid was I had the best footage. It happened right in front of me. I mean, it was absolutely insane. Dude, the guy's literally – and the fact that he can move at 6'6", 6'7", like he can. Dude, he's in Alabama. You talk about Brian Williams, no shade to him. That's an Alabama type of athlete at receiver. Like, let's be honest. The kid's virtually unguardable at every single position at receiver, whether it be like in the slot, outside, tight end. I mean, you can do anything with that kid, and he can block. So, and he's a dog. Like, he ain't like, let's call a spade a spade. Like, he ain't that typical dude. Like, he's a dude. Like, the kid is a dude.
Nah, you ain't calling a spade a spade. Go ahead, call a spade, bro. Say
I'm
it.
giving AJ his flowers because, honestly, he's the one who talked about him in the all-off season. And because of him, Lake Mary's going back to a state championship. But I will tell you what, and I put a text out there yesterday, a tweet. Noah Grubbs, if you look at all classifications of what the quarterback position has done, he has literally been the game changer for Lake Mary in the entire postseason with over 1,000 yards passing, 14 touchdowns, no interceptions, and 4 rushing touchdowns against the number 1 team in the state, the defending state champions, and arguably probably, Spruce Creek team that could upset a lot of these teams in 7A. Dude, what he's doing right now is exactly why he's a Notre Dame commit who was top 10 in America at one point, who was an All-American in the Navy Bowl. Like, this kid is why he is a generational talent in the state of Florida, in Central Florida, and will go down as the number 1 passing quarterback ever in our city. Noah Grubbs is playing. He deserves the flowers he gets to deserve, and he's winning at a high level right now. And if Lake Mary, with this momentum, goes into a Vero Beach team without their starting quarterback, I'm telling you right now, I'm all bets on this Lake Mary team because of those 2 names, Noah Grubbs and Barrett Schultz. And not to mention what Coach is doing on defense for Lake Mary. They're playing fundamentally.
Year in and year out.
And I'm telling exactly, like Noah Grubbs told AJ at one time, he said it to him, I think, at the signing day. Guys, we might not have the most athletes, but they're always going to be coached the right way, and they're always going to be in position to make a play. And if they make the plays, they usually come out on top, and which is why Lake Mary has only lost 4 games in Noah's whole career at Lake Mary, and they just avenged a loss last year. Go Lake Mary Rams.
So, AJ, I was impressed with 2 things the entire game, okay? One was
Donnelly dialed it up this time, baby. And literally, he had a pen and paper, and he was dialing it up, man.
One was Barrett Schultz, okay? He was a man against boys. Like, every time I saw a corner line up on him, it was almost laughable because you knew what was coming. We talk about receivers, high point of the ball, using your body to get an advantage. That young man has those tools. AJ, you and I have talked about that. The second thing that impressed me the most the entire night was Baylin Trujillo with one arm with Grayson and the other one taking video the entire night. Now, that's skill, man. That is skill to a T.
So I'm gonna start with Baylin. When I look at that, Grayson, honestly, he's gonna look back at all of these memories when he's older, and he's gonna be like, yo, this is crazy. My dad had me around Darion and Noah Grubbs and all of these quarterbacks and all of these players and stuff. So I think I salute you on that, my dude. When we talk about Barrett Schultz, it's no secret. I went and found Barrett for 7-on-7, and I like to pride myself on recruiting. I tell everybody I'm the best recruiter you know. And when I saw Barrett just doing some research, I said to myself, man, hold on. Let me watch the tape again. And some of the catches he was making, I was amazed. He played for my 7-on-7 team last year. And when I say he single-handedly won tournaments, not games for us, he single-handedly won tournaments where there were times where opposing teams were sitting on the sideline and they knew we were throwing the ball to him. The other team knew we was throwing the ball to Barrett, and it was nothing nobody could do. He's a mismatch. He's a special talent, but I think this is good for Lake Mary. He was the piece that they needed this year. I think that Noah has played very consistent all season. Everybody said Lake Mary was going to drop off this year. Noah ain't got nobody to throw to. They ain't got Lake Mary playing in the state championship. So shouts out to Lake Mary. Shouts out to the coaching staff, Coach Perry, Coach Donnelly, everyone over there. They had a terrific season.
And especially, this was the team that knocked them out last year.
Yeah, so that's sweet. It feels good.
Not only that, guys, they only had 4 returning starters on both sides of the ball.
But that's coaching. That is called coaching.
Yeah, we talk about that reload, right? Next man up. Not a single offensive lineman was starting last year for Noah Grubbs. This was a whole new team, and their first game was TFA. Like, they had to grow up fast.
Coaching.
And then after TFA, Oviedo, which they turned out to be a pretty good team this year. Then on top of that, you had Osceola, Raines,
Evans. They played Evans. They everybody. Yes.
Right. I'm talking about their first 4 games. Absolutely crazy. Norland, come on, man. So they had to grow up fast. And because of that, guys, we talk about this every year, strength of schedule matters. That is why they're where they're at, because they've been in big games. They're not shell-shocked. They're not like, oh, this is too big for us. We've seen the best. We played against the best. Now we know how to beat the best. And like you
Yeah.
said, man, when you have coaching with discipline, you're going to win a lot of football games. And it's crazy to say this because his Noah's sophomore year was arguably the best team in Central Florida, and they got popped by a team they beat in the regular season in Mandarin. If they were fully healthy, I think they win a state title that year. Then they had a really good team last year. They didn't have a big drop-off, right? Same running back came back, still had weapons at wide out. Noah had a great year. Guys, nobody predicted this team to be the team, and it's always those type of teams that end up doing it. So it's just crazy to think that this is actually could be Lake Mary's state championship team where nobody gave them a chance with 4 returners on both sides of the ball coming back for Lake Mary with no experience. That shows you how great Lake Mary is with the coaching, discipline, and of course, with you got Barrett Schultz and Noah Grubbs. I mean, my goodness, you have a chance. Like AJ said 2 years ago, when you got Noah Grubbs, you always got a chance. And here we are. We're talking about them.
Real quick, Dan. I know Coach Browning, he got the Coach of the Year award. But Lake Mary coaching staff, they got to get the coaching staff of the year award because
I don't even think it's a year. I think if you collectively take a look at it, it might be the decade.
You could say the decade, honest to God. Like,
it could very well be the decade. I'm talking about front to
Gunnar
bottom.
Smith,
And trust me, there is a handful
years.
of coaching staffs. I mean, complete coaching staffs across Central Florida. There's a handful that are elite.
They stick together.
Yeah, I mean, it is amazing, and that's why there's so much promise in Central Florida high school football. Hey, guys, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to get right to the road to the 305. We're going to talk about the gamut across the state. We're going to get down to our 2 state championship contenders when we come back. You're watching the Central Florida High School Scoreboard Show right here on Varsity Sports Nation. We'll be back right after this.
It's a simple idea. Can you leverage some of the biggest events in the world to change the life of a family down the street? How can a game here benefit someone here, or here, or here? At FCS, we organize events you love and use them to benefit the community we love. It's about more than a bowl game, more than football, more than a stadium. It's about impact on our neighbors and the next generation. Our roots run deep, and now we're branching out. Here, you're part of a story unlike any in the country about what we can do when we work together to go for the win. Bolder, brighter, stronger, together. Let's go win.
All right, welcome back to the Central Florida High School Scoreboard Show right here. Oop, took that off. Right here on Varsity Sports Nation. Hey, guys, we just talked about Florida Central Sports. We got some big bowl games right here in Central Florida the next few weeks. Let's start with the Cure Bowl. We got, Old Dominion in South Florida right here in Orlando. The Bulls are in the house.
Dan, stop it. You know nobody care about bowl season no more in college football. It's ridiculous. People opting out. Notre Dame opting out of bowl games because they can't play in the college playoffs and stuff. It's ridiculous.
So you're saying that Baylin tonight is half shameful because the other half is on his head and they slipped in with Miami, right?
No, Baylin. Look, no. Let me answer for Baylin. Baylin love Noah, but Baylin is happy Miami is in and Notre Dame is at the crib. I can tell you that now for sure.
Right about that right there. I am so happy that they got it right. And yes, the only reason I like Notre Dame is because of Noah Grubbs. If he ain't going to Notre Dame, I would never rep this shirt ever.
I tell you what, well, first of all, I'm confused when Miami plays Notre Dame in the future what Baylin's going to be wearing, but I'm confused because
I'll be wearing this outfit, but I will be going for
my guy Preston Watson and the Duke Blue Devils won the ACC championship.
I don't want to hear it, Dan. I don't want to hear it. That's the bogus. And you know, because of that,
what are you talking about? You don't want to hear it. That is the reason why we got in, fool. What are you talking about?
I know, but no, BYU is really the reason.
Thank you, Duke. I am Preston Watson, Malik Wright and company. Thank y'all, man. We
all it would have done was put Virginia over JMU. That's it. Other than that, it would have been the same.
And you know what's so beautiful? We could talk about any college across the nation and what they got on their roster. Central Florida boys. Right?
Yeah. Everywhere.
Okay, you got Georgia Tech. Who's Georgia Tech? Got the Pop-Tart Bowl?
Representing Miami.
Georgia Tech's got Georgia Tech's in the Pop Tart Bowl, and then the Cheez-It Bowl. You've got Texas and Michigan on New Year's Eve.
That's crazy in the Cheez-It Bowl. Damn.
Baylin's babysitter's calling, but let's get right to it, guys. Let's get right into it. Hey, Chaminade Madonna, Class 1 state championship is playing Cardinal.
Blowout.
Give me Chaminade.
Chaminade for the win. 2A, Cardinal Mooney taking on Bulls. Bulls had a heck of a year, AJ.
They did, but Cardinal Mooney, that's a different monster. That's like that's different. Let me actually check the score real quick of that game. That score right now is Cardinal Mooney. Oh, I can't see it. Hold on, I tell you. Here we go. All right, here we go. 27-7. It's get ugly fast. It was just 13-7. Cardinal Mooney is up. Cardinal Mooney's up by 20. It's over.
I think that's again, I really thought Bulls was going to have a good shot against this. They've had an amazing season. All right, let's move on to 3A. You've got Miami Northwestern and Reigns out of Jacksonville.
Yeah, this is a rematch of last year. I think it'll be a better game, but I'm going with Miami Northwestern. That's just them City Boys are different, man. I got the City Boys by 14.
I tell you what, I agree. I think Northwestern's just different. They're just different, man. You know what I'm saying? They're just anyway. 4A. I tell you what, we're going to take a quick break. Let's see if Baylin comes back. Obviously, something's going on. Don't want to get away from this. Let's give him a shot to come back on. You're watching the Central Florida High School Scoreboard Show right here on Varsity Sports Network. We'll be back right after this. All right, welcome back to the Central Florida High School Scoreboard Show right here on Varsity Sports Nation. This is Dan LaForest. That is AJ Brooks. Baylin had to take a hiatus. Something's going. Hey, here he comes, Baylin. Good thing we have commercials. We're getting to the 4A state championship coming up this weekend at 12:30. This is Saturday at 12:30. Jones and American Heritage. Baylin, I'm gonna start with you.
Hold up. Before y'all start, I want to give a shout out to Kirby Joseph. Joseph. Jones graduate, University of Illinois graduate, all-pro safety for the Detroit Lions, black tie management client. He paid the expenses for the trip for the Jones Tigers to go down here. I want to give a salute to Kirby. That's tremendous work by him because stuff like that is what really matters. He did it for the kids. So shout out to Kirby, man. Good job, bro.
I tell you what, we've seen Jones receive the benefits of guys who have gone on and done well. Vernell Brown made a contribution to the program this year. And obviously he had an amazing freshman year for the Florida Gators. So anytime these guys are in that position to give back to the next stars or even the guys that will never see that kind of fanfare, you got to take your hat off, and I'm proud of those guys. All right, Baylin, let's get right into this. Jones and American Heritage.
This is it, man. This is the year. We've said it before earlier in the show. I think that, with the reclassifications, Northwestern's going down. I mean, it's just going to be a lot harder. But I think when you have a generational talent like Darion Coleman, who is the #1 quarterback to ever step foot on Jones campus and the longest standing high school in the history of Orlando, this is it, man. He's playing at a high level, and I know Coach Williams knows that, and he's going to put it on his shoulders just like last year. I think the difference in this game is there's no Malachi Toney. We see what he's doing at Miami right now. He was their quarterback.
And no Diabell.
No Diabell, yeah. And so I think that's a big difference. And because of come here, Grayson, say hi to the show. Because of that, I think Jones is going to win. And I think this is the year, and we're going to be celebrating. And it's no rain, 12:30 p.m. in Miami. I don't think it gets any better than that. I think the whole Hurricane staff will be there. I think some of the players at Miami will be there to see their future quarterback, and I'm just excited, man. I think this. This is going to be goosebumps. It's going to be fireworks. This was the best game last year in all classifications. It was the closest game. Everything else was a blowout. So, and the best part about it is a rematch. It's the ability to rewrite a wrong, kind of like what Lake Mary did last week against Venice. There's not many opportunities you get to play against the team that knocked you out of winning your own state title. So I know Coach Will wouldn't want it any other way. I know Darion wouldn't want it any other way. I know Larry Miles wouldn't want it any other way. And I just think this is exciting times for Jones, and this is it. This is it for Jones. So you got to win this game, and I don't think that they're looking at any other option.
AJ?
Yeah, I think this is the year that Jones gets it done. Obviously, I'm a believer in Christ, so I don't take this for granted. But American Heritage does not have baby Jesus over there. And if you don't know who baby Jesus is, just go turn on the University of Miami games, and the best player on the field when they play, who should still be in high school right now, if it wasn't for him last year, Jones would have won a state championship. So we'll really be talking about Jones going back to back. Without Malachi Tony on the field, I think Jones is going to get it done. I think Jones is going to obviously have to stop those two receivers that they have. Diabell is not playing, but American Heritage still has a 2,000-yard passer, so they're still a very capable offense, very capable team. Can't deny the heart of a champion, so to speak, but I like Jones. I think Jones gets it done this year. I think DC is going to be the best player on the field. I think he'll have the best two wide receivers on the field in DJ Hicks and Larry Miles, and I think Jones is going to win. I like Jones to win.
St. Thomas Aquinas and Lakeland, guys. Baylin?
Big game tomorrow night. Man, this has been historically what the matchups have been in this classification over the years. And St. Thomas Aquinas is the real deal, guys. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I think that Lakeland has a special season with the quarterback controversy they had early on. They figured it out, but I am going to go with St. Thomas Aquinas. When you're able to recruit the way they can and get the guys that they want in that area in Miami, yeah, you're not losing.
AJ?
Yeah, I think Lakeland has played a terrific season. I like Lakeland's defense. Lakeland has a championship style defense, but I think that St. Thomas will score enough points, and I think St. Thomas defense will do enough to prevent Lakeland from scoring enough points. So I like St. Thomas to win this game. You're talking about St. Thomas that has played Stamina. They played American Heritage, Monarch. They've been battle tested. So I like St. Thomas to win this one.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think St. Thomas just historically, I mean, they've won, 8 of the last 10 state championships. So, but, we got to give Lakeland a little bit of love. They came to our media days this year with the rest of Polk County. They are the pride of Polk County. And
Absolutely.
It's going to be amazing. The bottom line is they're in the state championship. St. Thomas Aquinas is probably going to be favored in this. But listen, Dreadnoughts, we're pulling for you.
Hey, picking and wanting are two separate things. We want
exactly. Yeah. Exactly. All right, let's talk about 6A. We got West Boca taking on West Brevard, Baylin.
Yeah, this is
West Broward, excuse me.
Yeah, this is a massive matchup. Hold on one second. Massive matchup. West Broward, Shapiro, my guy Shapiro, the Miami money man. He's pretty much putting some money into this football program to build them to a powerhouse, hopefully a state championship. West Boca, unbelievable team, unbelievable year. I think that them beating, James Perone and company at Southridge, that was a massive win for them. I just think that West Broward, because of the ability to not pay players, but get players to come play for them, I'm going to pick West Broward to win this football game. It might be close, but I think West Broward can do it.
AJ?
Yeah, man, I'm going with West Boca. West Boca just defeated Armwood last week, who I thought would win the state championship in this classification. I'm gonna take West Boca.
Well, I tell you what, this is unfortunately an all South Florida state championship, and us guys, we don't like that. But you know what is not an all South Florida State Championship?
The 7A.
It's Vero Beach and Lake Mary, baby. Baylin.
Almost. Palmetto had an opportunity in several occasions to win that football game, and they blew it. So, yeah, let's get excited about a team that has no fair advantage here when it comes to being in Miami, but I will tell you one that does. His name is Barrett Schultz, because he's going to be playing in his stadium that he'll be enrolling in the next couple weeks at Pitbull Stadium at FIU, and I will bet on the home team man there. Lake Mary is going to win their first ever state championship, and it might be in dominating fashion. Yeah, say it again. Would you say, Grayson, who was? What?
Lake Mary.
You dang right, Lake Mary. So I'm picking the Rams to win this football game. Vero Beach, phenomenal year. They went 12-0, or actually now they're what, 14-0.
14-0, yeah.
But you know what? You know, I just go back to the drive that Joseph Allen had against them in the first drive. You know, and just how effective he was. Unfortunately, obviously, he got hurt, but I just don't know, man. I think that Vero Beach is obviously well tested, but they're not in their home environment. They're not with the flashing lights and the party and what's going on over Vero Beach. I am talking right now, giving a nice prediction for Lake Mary. Who is Lake Mary?
Yeah.
It's the house that Noah built. Okay, so we're gonna go with Lake Mary Rams to win their first championship, and I cannot wait to be there and celebrate with Coach Perry and them boys.
AJ.
Yeah, I'm rocking with Lake Mary. I think Lake Mary will win a state championship, led by Noah Grubbs, Barrett Schultz, and let's not forget O'Shea. O'Shea is a big contributor as well. I like Lake Mary. Vero Beach is very talented. They have some terrific athletes at the wide receiver position, but in my honest to God opinion, the best wide receiver on the field will be a Lake Mary Ram. He's a mismatch. I know Noah's gonna find him. And they'll win a state championship.
Man, that's crazy, guys. And we get to have both of these games on the same day.
And we'll be there. Me and Baylin will both be there, so we'll see it live in action. Can't wait.
I will not be there. Are you ready for my prediction?
Yeah, talk to me.
Here's my prediction. First of all, Vero Beach is an amazing program.
Loaded.
Coach Lenny is an amazing coach. I'm going to tell you why Lake Mary is going to win. You guys keep talking about Noah and Barrett. I'm going to tell you why Lake Mary's going to win.
Period.
First of all, Lake Mary should not be in this game.
Nope.
Lake Mary should not be in this game. Nobody gave Lake Mary a chance to be in this game. Let's be real. We did not give Lake Mary a chance to be in this game. They did not look good in the spring. They did not look good in the Kickoff Classic. The one reason why Lake Mary is going to win this game, and nobody's talked about it all year, why is Lake Mary a championship quality program right now?
That defense.
Nope.
That coaching, boy.
That was given.
Oh.
That offensive line has grown up from day one to now. Those were little boys, and right now they're grown dang men. That offensive line is the reason why this program is playing for a state championship. And I dare anybody to argue that point with me. That offensive line grew up every week. And what they did the last several weeks, nobody expected. They protected their greatest asset to give him a chance to lead this program to victory. Lake Mary is going to win this state championship for one reason. It is their destiny.
Yeah.
Dan, you have the voice to do that too, man. I'm sorry, I have to give it to you, dog. You have that voice that you just made a storyline there, man. And
I like it.
I got chills, man.
Noah, when you get your first NIL, make sure you get those offensive linemen a nice gift. It don't got to be nothing crazy, but like some Oakley shades or just something, let them know you appreciate it.
Yeah, man. That I'm sure
you need to be getting that NIL deal with Grubhub, because I'm telling you what, that's a natural fit.
Boy, that's a good one. You've been talking about that one for a couple of years now.
I have. Hopefully his agent's listening. It's Grubhub.
Gotta get him.
Guys, this is it, man. This is it.
This is it, man.
So look, do we do a show next week? If if one of them
If there's a winner,
have to win.
if there's a winner, and we're going to get their head coach on, we're going to get maybe some of their players on. Yeah, for sure. Yep. If they both win, it's going to be fun. Trust me.
Crazy. Yeah. If they both lose, guys, I'll tell you guys. If they don't win, none of them. See y'all next year.
We'll see you in the spring.
2026.
1 year ago, I made an emotional statement that I was leaving the show, and somehow I'm back. Great job this year, guys. On Tavis McCullough, great job as the host this year. I feel pleasure to fill in a couple times. I've missed talking high school football. Obviously, I haven't been too far away. A lot of things going on in my life. Everything is so positive, and God's blessed me in so many different ways. Miss talking, chalking it up with you. I know we do it during the week on occasion, but at the end of the day, this right here is what I miss the most. And it is. It's so much fun to support and to be, just to come across and give so much love to the coaches and the players in Central Florida. And looking forward to already planning media day for next year. And you know what? It is. This is what keeps high school football going, especially in Central Florida. I still challenge anybody in the show to do anybody in the state to do a show like this. And they know they're watching. They know who they are.
Appreciate you, Dan.
All right, guys.
It's been fun.
Hey, Rams, Tigers, bring it home.
Let's go.
Baylin, close the thoughts.
No, it's just it's emotional for me because I've seen these two kids literally grow up and become who they are, and especially with Darion, being with him nearly 8 years. I mean, we talk about moments like this, we dream about them, we kind of visualize and train for them, but you never really know that they're going to happen until they actually do. And man, it's going to be an emotional day for me. I know AJ is going to be there with me, so that's going to be cool. My dad's coming with me too as well. But just to see them take their last snaps ever in high school and just to remember the hours and the training and the sweat and the conversations and the traveling, like just all the moments I was able to share with just these two guys alone. I've trained a lot of kids, but these two in particular, man, have really changed my life, the trajectory of my training business, really elevated, me to another level to where now I am training elite quarterbacks across America because of what they've seen these two kids do over the years. And, man, I owe a lot to those two kids. And, again, those two kids have an impact on my son Grayson and River. And, man, this one means everything to me. And I'm glad that I get to watch them play literally the last game they could ever play in because this is the state championship. So it's going to be an awesome, awesome Saturday, and I'll never forget it.
AJ Brooks.
Yeah, man. I just think it was a terrific season all in all. I think Central Florida I think we had a pretty good season. With the state championship wrapping up, I could tell you one thing. It'll be an honor for me to be there because I truly believe that both teams are going to get it done this year. Thinking about Baylin and everything that he went through, it's going to be cool to share that moment with him. I can tell y'all right now, my boy going to shed a tear or two. He's going to cry. I can tell you that right now. He win, lose, or draw, he will shed a tear because it's a very emotional situation, very emotional opportunity. Them two young men literally, they changed the trajectory of his life. So I'm happy to be there. Yeah, man. So yeah, I just can't wait. So yeah, can't wait. Let's go. Tigers, Rams, bring it home. Seal the deal. Finish the drill. Y'all boys got it. Play with confidence. Because y'all supposed to be there. So just play confident, play football like y'all been playing all year, and just don't force it. Let it happen, and you guys will be champions.
All right, guys, one last question. Baylin, who wins the national championship? Optimism's everything. AJ.
Damn, can I give a funky answer? I'm gonna say Texas.
Give whatever. Tech. He's already given a funky answer.
I'm gonna say Texas Tech. That defense is scary.
The best team in America.
Who you got? No, Dan. I want to hear you can pick now. Who you got?
Ohio State. I really do.
Miami's knocking them off New Year's Eve, baby.
I like Miami.
I think Ohio State really. I just don't. I mean, first of all, I gave a speech the other night, and I said, I'm tired of hearing that college football is ruined. I'm tired of hearing it. I'm tired of hearing about NIL and it's bad. I'm tired of hearing about the transfer portal and how it's ruining everything. And then I said, in no world does Indiana win the Big Ten championship. In no world.
Look at Texas Tech. In no world does Texas Tech go from statistically one of the top lower 2 or 3 defenses to the top defense in the country in one year.
In
That's
no
what
world,
$25 million in the portal will do for you. It'll bring you a championship.
In no world are you having a 12-team playoff that is the best 12 teams in America, and you got Tulane and JMU representing. How about that? Not in a world.
With 2 programs that lost their head coaches.
I'm pushing for 16
with another
games
coach
now.
that can't have their head coach, but the other one that's going to the Gators is still coaching.
Yeah, that's
with
crazy,
Texas and Vanderbilt doing this.
Yeah, because
and Notre
Tulane
Dame
is
doing
smart.
this.
Tulane is smart. They said, Coach, please
And
go
Duke
win us a
doing
couple
this.
games in the college playoffs.
All I'm saying is it's insane. It's
guess
absolutely
what?
insane. But to say that college football is ruined, it is the most exciting we've seen
And
I'll say
in the last
this real
decade.
quick.
Could we sit here and have this conversation that didn't end with Ohio State, Alabama, and Georgia a lock to win the Natty?
This is the best
the
year
3.
from opening. I mean, it could be anybody. And guess what, guys? Can we shed a tear for Michigan? Because they're in some deep doo-doo right now.
Text from Michigan, so I actually have to get off. Hey, guys, great job 2025, all of Central Florida. Get ready. Off season's coming. You guys.
Hey, last question, Dan.
recruited?
I'm gonna end it with one question because you asked about national championship. I'm gonna ask you who's gonna win the Heisman this year.
I hope it's not Diego Pablo. I can tell you that.
Why not, man? He's the best player in college
And
football.
I'm so tired of hearing about Vandy and their fake program. I'm over it. I'm over it.
Josh Raymond does not play there anymore, guys. He's able to say that.
Oh, none of my guys will ever play there again. So take that.
Dang, on record.
All right, guys.
Peace.
Great job. We're out of here. Hey,
Go Rams. Go Tigers.
Hey, you know me, man. We may not be right, but I know we ain't wrong. You're watching the Central Florida High School Scoreboard Show. We out.
Varsity Sports Nation. Unleash the champion within.